In this video, I'm going to explain to you why I keep seeing Palestinians being called barbaric, savage terrorists. So we're in the late 1800s and there's a lot of anti-Semitism going on in Europe. This anti-Semitism leads to the creation of a movement called Zionism. Zionism was basically the belief that Jewish people needed their own state. So they went to Argentina, they went to Uganda, but ultimately they decided on Palestine. But who was in Palestine? Palestinians, who were not just Muslims, by the way. They were Christians, Jews, Muslims, but they were all identified as Palestinians living in this land. Palestinians who were already under British rule saw this influx of Jewish immigration into Palestine and the whole concept of Zionism, we want to create a Jewish state and exclude the Palestinians, as a threat to their own sovereignty. So in 1917, the British signed this document called the Balfour Declaration, which basically said, yes, the Jewish people are going to get their state, we're going to help them, and fuck the Palestinians, basically. And after one of the most horrific events in history, the Holocaust, there was obviously a great influx of Jewish immigration into Palestine once again. So from the early 1900s until 1948, there was a double colonization happening to the Palestinian people. There was, first of all, just the British presence there, and then there was the mass Jewish immigration that was funded by the British with no regards to Palestinian sovereignty. And in 1948, the Nakba happened. The Nakba, which means catastrophe in Arabic, was the ethnic cleansing of almost 1 million Palestinians, including my grandfather. And since 1948, Palestinians have been two things: stateless and living under a military occupation in Palestine. Palestinians want equal rights in their historic homeland, but they have not been afforded this right since 1948. 75 years of land theft, 75 years of oppression, 75 years of no rights for Palestinians. And naturally, like history will show you, resistance movements started popping up, including Hamas, which was actually funded by Israel in the 1990s. Since 1948, Palestinians have not been afforded the right to context. Think about the representation of Arabs in movies. We're either in a pack and there's no faces and there's an American hero and he's just trying to kill all of us because we're dumb. Or it's the rich sheikh that has 17 wives. And Hollywood and American media has created this narrative that Palestinians just come out of their mother's wombs and we just want to kill Israelis. We're not afforded the right to context. We're not afforded the right to talk about these 75 years of oppression that we've been going through. We're not afforded this right because American media just wants to dehumanize Palestinians so that normal people, when they see, it's like, oh, they just are terrorists, they're barbaric, they want to kill Jews, and oh my God. When in reality, it's been 75 years of oppression and military occupation. 75 years. So as you navigate the news these days and you see that Palestinians are savage terrorists, we're barbaric, just keep in mind our fight for freedom and justice over the past 75 years.